better first midfield in college lacrosse.
It's unbelievable, and stylistically, they're much different. Brendan Curry's the fastest player on the team, tremendous lacrosse IQ, and probably the most well-rounded player on the Syracuse squad. Then there's Tucker Dordevic. He'll put defenders in a spin cycle. His first step is insane. Break defenders down and let it fly. And then Jamie Trimboli, you want a three-point shooter, a guy who could stretch a defense like Steph Curry does in basketball? Trimboli does it for the Orange.
Trimboli had a huge game in the comeback against Army last year. 5 goals, 4 in the second half, including the game winner. Meanwhile, for Army, Paul, they've got a star in the junior captain, Brendan Nichtern, the Patriot League's preseason player of the year.
Lacrosse fans know the name Rob Pennell. Well, that is Brendan Nichtern's idol. Pennell starred for Cornell, and you look at Nichtern's game. He's got a low center of gravity. He's tremendous around goal line extended, but when you play him as a dodger and a scorer, he will feast as a passer. He had 50 assists, top 5 in the nation as a freshman in 2019.
And we're seeing 2 of the best goalies in America. Wyatt Schupler was sensational against Syracuse last year. Drake Porter was a little better, a career-high 18 saves. You can argue Porter as the best goalie in Division I. Happy Sunday. Can I try that again, Paul? It's Sunday. It's not Saturday. So much lacrosse going on. The days blend in. Here we are. Mid-February, late February, we go to the Face-Off X. And Jacob Falk wins the opening face-off from Ethan Barangin. Syracuse will begin on offense. This was a team that demolished its competition for the most part last year. 4 of their 5 games, blowouts. The lone close game, a 2-goal win against Army. And Syracuse strikes early. Number 20 goal scorer from last year.
Well, this is going to be a problem, Anish, for Army. When you short stick Chase Scanlon, you have so much concern about the midfield. You only have those 4 long sticks. Who do you put the shorty on? Well, Chase Scanlon in the offseason has improved midfield scoring. You know what you're getting out of Brendan Nichtern. But who's going to step up from the midfield in the one-on-one defense, defending the Dodgers from Syracuse?
A chance to go early, an unsettled goal. It's Aiden Burns, the junior.
Aiden Burns brings a great complementary piece to Brendan Nichtern. Nichtern's a righty. Burns is a lefty. He's a big, strong guy. He can dodge, but he can also stretch a defense with his
guys to bump up polls too.
If I'm Curry, I'm going to say to myself, all right, you want to disrespect me? Well, guess what? It's time for me to eat. Now I'm going to the rack.
Dordevic against Hudgens. Tucker Dordevic wins the matchup and fires a bullet from the outside.
He hails from Portland, Oregon. Burst on the scene as a freshman, and he is going at Army's top defender, Hudgens. So Dordevic says, Poles, short stick, no problem. I'm quicker than you, I'm faster than you. Starting from the defensive end and creating offense. You don't pick him up, he will sling it from downtown.
Reminds you a little of Matt Abbott. Dordevic, left hand again, and he scores. That's 2 going to his left.
In the amount of time he puts in the offseason, he is equally effective going right or left. In the beginning stages of this ball game, Tucker Dordevic is turnovers like that, right? You win your first face-off of the game, you get your offense into a groove, give the ball to Nichtern, and then a turnover right away.
Here's Dordevic, already 2 goals, both with the left hand. Spins to his right, fires a rocket. A first quarter hat trick.
Anish, if you arrived today from Mars and you watched the first quarter and I asked you what hand is Tucker Dordevic, what would your answer be?
Both.
Exactly. And they long no. And look, when Tucker Dordevic hurt his foot, That's a really tough injury for a player like him because he's so aggressive with his change of direction, and he drops that plant foot into the turf, putting so much pressure on himself.
How about the feed and the finish? It's Jacob Buttermore.
You know, we talk about the first midfield of Trimboli, Curry, and Dordovic. This second midfield is as good as any second midfield in college lacrosse. You have a guy like Lucas Quinn who goes...
Bench there. Liam Davenport. Now Curry. Back to Trimboli. Trimboli on the run, finds the back of the net. First game for Syracuse. The Orange look to be in...
Well, last season in the 2-goal win, Jamie Trimboli had 5 goals. So when you talk to people around the Army program, he is at the top of the scouting report. He was the leading goal scorer in the...
Sets the shot clock. And we'll be back to even strength. Abshire feeding the crease. Nick Turn is there. And the Patriot League's preseason play.
That was a 1-minute penalty. Illegal pocket. The depth of the Syracuse pocket, too much. Nick Turn makes him pay. Anish, 1 minute.
Off the 2-seed Syracuse. And that Syracuse team was loaded, coming off back-to-back national championships. And Army cuts the lead in half. It's 6-3. Gunner season.
Anish, I just said moments ago, don't sleep on Army in a 4-goal game. They are going to fight back. They come up to the Carrier Dome every single year for this game. None of these players wilt under pressure. Dordovic.
Still got to clear, and Army. Little helter-skelter. They've got a chance here, streaking in, and will this count?
Anish, moments ago you mentioned Syracuse's ride in pressuring Army. Well, if you have the athletes to run by them, you can make them pay.
Behind Loyola. Hounds gave Virginia a scare yesterday. And the Who's pulled away. What a feed and what a finish. It's Abshire.
Level passing by Brendan Nick Turn. If you're a young attackman, just watch how his head is always up, surveying the defense, understanding where the pressure is. There's a double. And as a result of the double, the rest of the Syracuse defense has to help out. And from a cerebral perspective, when you play the defensive spot, not give this man-up opportunity.
Dordovic with an absolute rocket. He's got 4 in the first half.
If you make a mental mistake, they'll make you pay. Dordovic's first 3 goals, you saw him dodging and breaking and thread needle-like passes through this Syracuse defense when they're extra man. He has the ability to rifle long darts.
20 and 14, Nick Turn and Abshire. And that's Nick Turn.
The 1-2 punch of Abshire and Nick Turn. The last goal, it was Nick Turn to Abshire. This time we're talking about threading needles. Twice now. That's been a problem. The backside of the Syracuse man down.
Army able to save it. Army's had some success with its early offense. Let's see if they go again. To the wing. Edinger! Tully.
Edinger closes it out, but Anish, what I think a telling factor in this first half, Army has cleaned up their clearing game. And they've been very successful against the pressure ride.
Kielbasa against Davilas. Now he goes. Feeding inside to Byrne.
I said take your first shot at 15, while Army will take 14. Aiden Burns is all lefty. Traditionally, you want to cut down that pipe with your right hand, but when you're so comfortable.
Curry steps into one, an easy save for Schupler, his 5th. And Davenport clears. Davenport all the way. Plays it back to Edinger. Nicholas Edinger with a couple of goals now, and he's given Army a 2-goal lead.
Drive about 20 miles south on 81, and you'll run into a small town in Tully, New York, with 8 hours. It's getting back to championship weekend. This is a team that certainly could win it all. They have the talent, but they're also on a Final Four drought since 2013. So to me, it's about getting back to championship weekend. Of course, these guys want to win it all, but the game has changed.
Dordovic feeding Rafis. Beautiful.
You're seeing a little bit of everything from Dordovic. Righty, lefty sweeps, shooting on the run, planting your feet and letting it rip. Now you see the vision. This is a tremendous pass, and the anticipation is off the charts. He only go one-on-one against Kennedy once early in that first quarter. He's playing smart lacrosse. He's playing off the ball and playing off of his teammates, but he's the guy.
Phillip off the feed from Nick Turn. It's 10.
Great. Not pressing and not trying to do too much. Nick Turn gets Syracuse kind of caught in that two-man pick game. Aviles turns his back, doesn't know to fight through the pick or to switch. And what that does is he assists. Top 3 in the nation as a freshman, dealing the ball and orchestrating the offense, and you have that piece.
Edinger with the hat trick.
If I'm John Desko, I take a timeout right now, and I just tell my players, take a deep breath. A lot of mental mistake. Chase Scanlon, that looked like 22 in white, pushes his defender from the rear. I mean, fight for the ball, but don't put that pressure on the back of the defender and giving them another opportunity when they just threw the ball away and gave it to you.
Gunnar Phillips strikes again.
They're not making Schupler really work for it. They're not changing levels. They're not giving him a quick little hitch fake and making him work for it in tight.
And Army scores again.
Is absolutely money. The penalty's wiped out. He catches it, goes behind the back. Do you remember I told you on the opposite side of the field, that's an opportunity to go behind?
Hiltz. Number 2 freshman coming out of high school, according to Inside Lacrosse, 77 in white, pegged as a future star at Syracuse. Biggest recruit they've had since Jordan Evans, and Hiltz announces his presence.
When we were leading up to this game, Anish, and I said it earlier, it's the wrists, man. Those wrists are absolutely...
By Porter.
I agree, Anish, and the other piece of it too, a lot of recruits right now have highlight reels and are on Instagram nonstop. Try to find a highlight reel of Owen Hiltz. You won't.
Nick Turn turns and fires.
And here's the issue. You can't move this guy when he gets a full head of steam at you. He's so strong. You know, he's listed at 185. I think he's more than that, and he is 100% rock solid. He never...
Army lost to Virginia by this exact score, 14-9. They were minus 20 on ground balls, struggled at the face-off X, struggled to clear. They've cleaned it up a lot in a week. And Syracuse gets to 14-10.
And what separates this midfield, Anish, how two-handed they are. Every single one of those players feels equally effective with their right and left. It's 14-10. You're going to have to play as clean as possible against a really sound defense in Army. And now we talked earlier about them continuing to press.
Abshire makes his way in. He's got a hat trick.
I say continuing to press, Anish, because they have not taken the foot off the gas. So you're down 14-10, but this is an offense, and offensive coordinator Justin Ward, credit.
The cover skills of Peter Dirth. 9 in white. Now Nick Turn. He's got his man hung up. Porter out of the cage. Nick Turn spinning inside. The goal count.
Only have 7 minutes and change left, so Drake Porter's going to go out. But when you're a goalie and you chase, you're never in position. Brendan Nick Turn is a star. He's been dominant with this Army offense. against the Cuse, up 6.
Syracuse up 6-1 and now being down 6. A stunning turn of events. Here come the Orange, unsettled to make it 16-11.
Face-off X. Anish, everyone talks about the Syracuse midfield. Before that goal by Rafis, the attack had only 2 goals combined. Teams all...
Army won against the Orange in 2017, and of course, the monumental upset in the NCAA tournament back in 2010.
This is what you want. Nick Turn had a shorty.
Nick Turn to Abshire, a quick stick and a sports center.
Syracuse does not have the matchup they want. They want to put their best long pole on Nick Turn. He's their playmaker. Syracuse gets caught. They want to put Kennedy back. But in that transfer, Abshire recognizes Kennedy's going off of him. Week was more about their rust as they put a cherry on top with Aiden Burns. More about their rust in the first game than what they're all about, because it's in the middle of the field to do something similar to Virginia that did a week ago. But it told me that Army is able to clean up any mental mistakes from...
The sky is not falling on Syracuse lacrosse. It is one game. It is their first game. But you have to wonder if Army has given some of the teams watching a little bit of a blueprint, because their MO was, let's see if this Syracuse attack can beat us. And that was the right game plan.
It was the right game plan, but I'm not going to go there yet, because I'm going to give Syracuse that opportunity to answer with their attack in week 2. Just like Army answered in week 2, their week 2. I have faith in the Syracuse team. They have some questions. Who are the playmakers?